Dude, listen, just to let you know, I've got
Uh-huh.
my dog's been acting up, so he's fine now, but he's got, so he's got like around Christmas time, we found out he got diabetes, so he was just like,
Oh,
yeah, so it's like we're trying to manage that, and today he
okay. No,
started.
don't worry, dude. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
we're
but
boy.
he's fine at the moment. But I mean, the side effect of that is that he just like he's peeing all the time. So if I see he's gonna go, we might have to like just pause for 5 minutes while I run
No,
outside
don't
with
worry.
him.
Don't
Yeah,
worry. I know
but
how dogs are. I had to close my door
yeah.
so my dog doesn't come in because every time I was like talking to someone, she gets crazy. She wants to see what's going on, who's that person. It's like, yeah, I'm talking on the audio. The person's not here. And then she gets crazy. She's like started to jump on me. Like, that's why I kept her outside of the studio.
What dog is it?
I have a Frenchy bulldog.
Oh my god, what color?
Uh, it's the light color. I don't know if they call it caramel.
Oh, beautiful, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck, we talk about
We,
getting one all the time. I would
yeah,
love one.
yeah. We just feed her with natural food. We don't give her anything there's not that because she had like some allergies, so we kind of cook her food, and dude, she eats better than us. Like her fur is beautiful though. She like it's like all shiny and yeah, it's super nice.
How long have you had her?
For 5 years,
Wow. Dude, those
she's
dogs
turning
are
five
beautiful.
this year.
I'm in love with those dogs.
Dude, and there's yeah, they're awesome. They like really good friends. I had a bunch of different dogs. I had boxers and like pincher chihuahuas and those small little dogs.
did you have a
Like
handbag for
they're
them?
yeah, but they're the best companion we ever had. I mean, they're always like trying to get next to you, whatever you. I mean, I have like a bunch uh, of her like little beds around me because every time I'm working, she just want to like lay next to me, so I keep them around so she can just like lay down. Sometimes you just jump and we have to like bring a chair, like one of those chairs on the side, put the little little bed inside, and then she can like just sleep right next to us. Like she's very attached to us.
Dude, that's awesome. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't like to speak like this, but yeah, he's a good like 13 years old, but we forget how old he
Mm.
is because he still behaves like a baby.
A puppy, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So so I don't know how long he's going to be around for, but we keep
Yeah.
talking about like, what, yeah, if like fantasizing about getting a Frenchie in the future. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also behaved exactly the same, dude. She's like 5 years old, but she's still behaving as a puppy.
Yeah.
She wants to play every time. She's super active, um, especially at night. She sleeps up for most of the day.
Yeah.
But when it gets like to nine, like 9 to 10 p.m., she's like, "Oh my God, I want to play. I want to play." Like, "Dude, it's 10 p.m. Dude, why didn't you want to play like early today? Like it was okay, but now we want to go to bed. We're kind of tired. But anyway, it's fun. You cannot like they say no. Like yeah, okay, I'll play with you again. It's fine.
But Art, have you like trained her at all, or is it just
Mm,
like
mm.
no? Okay.
No, I had other dogs that I trained in the past in Brazil, but since we don't have time to do that outside, and two, she was just like living at home with us. It's fine, right? But where I used to live with the other dogs. It was kind of open, so we have to train them not to go to the street, and when if they go, they come back, and it takes some time. I think she's kind of old right now for that. Maybe not. We just train the basics, right? Like
Yes.
where she has to poop and pee, uh, not bite this, don't do that, and she's very obedient. She's a good dog.
And no children, Art.
No, no true children, dude.
Okay.
No plans for children, so
Dude, how fucking old are you? Because you look about 25, and I realize that I mean, you probably a little bit older than all of us, but you look younger than all of us.
how
So,
old do you think I am?
listen, I'm gonna make a guess only because I'm good at this, but
Okay.
it's
Uh,
no reflection on how you look. If I was
I don't
gonna,
mind.
if I was, if I didn't know you at all, my guess would be like, I would say like 32, 33. But I think based on some of the information that I know, I'm going to add on 10 years to that.
Okay, spot on, dude.
Is it?
42. Yeah.
42. Okay.
42.
So, yeah, I'm fucking hell, Art. What the fuck do you do, dude? Are you like a eat clean and train dirty kind of guy?
No. I used to, when I was in Brazil, I used to do a lot of exercise. I was like a gym guy. Was doing a lot of like muscular activities, like calisthenics. I was going to the gym like 5 times a week. I was in really good shape. Like my what's it called in English though?
BMI?
My body fat. My body fat was like 3%.
Jesus.
And I was kind of like a muscular type. And since when I got to America, I was like, yeah, I forgot about that. I just let me focus on work, and then since then, I eat clean. I don't eat a bunch of like fast food. I don't like that, to be honest. I like to eat food that we make at home or go to a good restaurant, right? Maybe that's the secret, but I don't know, dude. My dad, he's like 72 right now, and I think he got his first white hairs, like silver hairs, in like 10 years ago.
Jesus.
So I think he's on the family DNA.
Yeah, good genetics.
Yeah.
Who's that? Shout out to Art Senior, huh?
Yeah, dude. He's a good man as well. He looks so young, dude. If you see him, like, no way you're 72 years old. No way.
Where in Brazil? Where in Brazil are you from, Art?
I'm from the countryside of São Paulo state. It's from a city called Catanduva.
Okay.
All the cities in São Paulo, they have like some indigenous name. So Catanduva means short grass in the Indian language. So I'm from that town. I moved out of that town when I was 17 years old to attend to the design college. It was in another city, but it was pretty close, like an hour and a half. But I decided to move away from my parents' house, just like to start my own life, doing my own stuff.
I worked with a couple of guys from Brazil when I was at Volvo. One of them was telling me that I don't know exactly where he was from, but he was telling me that Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page, yeah. He's got a place out there, and apparently he used to he didn't throw these wild. It wasn't these wild parties that he threw for everybody to come, but the way that he was explaining it is that where he was living, it was like kind of out in the country. And everybody, it's kind of an open door policy for everybody, and they would have these big campfires at night and play music and whatnot, and kind of everybody was welcome because he still was able to have some of his privacy. But I don't know if you know anything about this.
No, I know about the story. And if I'm not wrong, maybe the musician guys might tell otherwise. But if I'm not wrong, he started introducing more acoustic guitar sounds in Led Zeppelin albums since he moved to Brazil. He had a trip to Brazil, and then he learned some of the classic Brazilian style. How do they play in the countryside? And it kind of sounds like that. I can show you pieces of Brazilian music that kind of sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin. It's interesting. I like how he brought it to the Zeppelin style. It makes it very multicultural, right? I think that's why everybody loves the Zeppelin, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Art, listen, before people get annoyed with us for just going on about dogs and music, I mean, we could talk about this all day, but I've decided with this one, I should have prepared hard, but at the same time, I felt recently sometimes that if I prepare too much, that honestly, it fucking gives me anxiety just as much as if I'm not prepared.
Because you had
So
to go through all these questions that you
yeah,
have.
and then I
Yeah.
find then I
How do I
kind
need
of
to make it all to the end?
yeah, and that's the thing. You kind of you know the thing is, while that's great to be able to reference something if you get stuck, it also
Yeah.
you sometimes it makes you feel like you've got to ask every single point, and then you can't you it distracts you from the natural flow of conversation. You know, so
Yeah, you're right.
I thought that hopefully we'll just freestyle it, and it's got off to a good start. So
Awesome, dude.
let's
I love it. I'm a very casual guy. Don't worry.
uh,
I tell to all the designers, like, dude, if especially the new guys, they started working with me. It's like, dude, I'm a very casual guy. I don't like formalities. You don't need to call me like sir or whatever. Just call me Art, or just like, like start like texting me. You can call me dude or whatever. I don't care. I'm very casual. I don't mind. I don't like formalities, to be honest. I hate it.
Um, how did you become a designer? Can you talk to me about how you got into that?
So I think since I think my oldest memories as a younger, like a child, I remember myself like doing creative stuff, like creating my own toys. I mean, my family on the past, they were not very wealthy, right? We were living with our granddads because my mom and my dad couldn't afford a house. So in my granddad, he was a carpenter. He was a very skillful guy. He was a carpenter, but he was also a good tailor. So all like the handwork, he was pretty good at it. And also my grandmother, she was also like she was the same. She was like a pretty good with handwork. And I think living with them, it kind of gave me this passion to everything related to creation, right? And he was like teaching me how to, like if I would have played back in the day, I was like watching the GI Joes and on TV. I was like, yeah, I wanna play like a GI Joe. And my dad and my granddad was like, yeah, like you wanna me to teach you how to, like um, manufacture a gun like out of wood, and just like to play with. So yeah, and then he like was teaching me all the tools, like how to do it. And since then, I was like just basically doing all my stuff. And I think that's why Lego was probably my toy of choice, because of course it comes with a purpose. If you buy a set and that set is for like a fire truck, but end of the day you can simply dismount the thing and mount it into something else, right? And I was mounting like into like sci-fi glasses and playing like I was from the future with a gun, whatever. I'm sorry, I go places when I talk.
No, you do it.
Uh,
I do the same.
yeah. So um, again, since I was a kid, I remember myself doing everything related to creativity, and I think it was part of me. And I remember one occasion when I was like in first grade. My mom and my dad, they came to school to pick me up, and the teacher, she was like, "Yeah, come on in. Just look what your son did on the blackboard and then she showed and I draw like this picture of Jesus because I was attending to a Catholic school, and they were like, "Oh, cool." And then I think all of them, like my parents and most of my teachers in the past, they were encouraging me to keep going with it, like just letting me do what I want to do. Especially my mom and my dad, they was always super supportive. I remember also when I was a teenager, just like sitting on the couch with a sound like playing loud on the living room, like playing some Iron Maiden, some metal band, and I was like just like drawing covers of the Iron Maiden albums and things like that. Oh, I think my dad still has it. Like all the back, all my school books and notebooks, they have some drawing on the back, and basically like heavy metal drawings, like from Megadeth, like Iron Maiden, Metallica, and because I love the covers. I was so in love with it. But the first time I saw like an Iron Maiden cover, I was like, wow, this is so awesome. Look at that drawing, it's insane. And but to be honest, when I joined school, the design school back in 1996, yeah, I'm old. This is probably most of your listeners that were never being born in that in that in that time. I'm from the pre-internet era, so once since I joined the school, I mean, sorry, when I joined the school, I was joining to the purpose to become a cartoonist, a guy that draws like for
Ah,
Marvel or DC,
wow.
or I was in love with all of that, like all the comic books. I had a pretty big collection of Spider-Man and X-Men back in the 90s. I think every kid from 90s, they kind of had a passion for comic books, right? It was a big thing. I don't know if it is still today, but back then, because we didn't have internet, all these other ways to entertain yourself, you always recur to, like comic books, like books, magazines, role-playing games. I still play a little bit, Dungeons and Dragons with some friends. It's fun, gotta say. I
And
was kind
Doom.
of considered a nerd, I think. I still a little bit. I still like that, and everything that involves um, that area. Anyway, again, coming back to the school, I joined trying to become cartoonist or something like that. And when you get in contact with people that just like you and they kind of have the same taste and they kind of live the same experience, right? They experience the same things, and you start like exchanging information. You started getting more in connection to other things related to that area that you didn't know before, like furniture design, um, car design, for instance. We still don't have a car design school in Brazil. So when I joined school, it was basically an industrial design school. That's what I'm graduated in. I'm actually an industrial designer, not a car designer. And during the school time, I was starting like looking into more like product design and furniture, and I fell in love with furniture design. I was like, wow, this is cool. I can do this like living like if I move back to my city to Kathmandu, I could still work on that. That would be awesome, right? I could live close to my parents. I could do that. And then one day I remember a guy like, yeah, do you want to go down to the wood shop? They're doing this like scale models of cars. That's for like a Volkswagen contest. Like, whoa, oh, like let's check it out. And then I came down and I saw like a couple of models they were doing. Like one was Rodrigo Galdino. You should, by the way, interview him. Shout out to Rodrigo, awesome designer, dude,
I'll check him
awesome
out.
person. He's a true artist. He can play, he can sing, he can sketch, he can paint.
What's
It's
it? What's
insane.
his name? I'm writing it.
Rodrigo Galdino.
Rodrigo Cardino.
Mhm. So I saw his model and a couple other Mars, like, wow, this is awesome. And then I started like to learn a little bit more about it. What is that? What was that, right? So basically, it was a contest that Volkswagen still do every year, but I think that was the third edition. So they still do every year. They have this contest for all the schools in Brazil that you submit your design, and if you qualify among the best 10, they call you to a final stage where you have to. Right now, I don't think we have to do it anymore. I think basically now it's just sketches and maybe 3D models. But back then, you have to come with a model, like a scale model. It doesn't matter what you choose the technique you want to do, but it has to look like the sketch you did, right? And those 10 finalists, those 10 guys, they pick them only like the three. And those three, they're going to do an internship of, I think, of an entire year on their studio in Brazil. So I did that on my year because I was like, well, sure, I'm going to do that. I submit my sketch. I was among the 10 finalists, but I couldn't make to the cut. I was the sixth guy, actually. It's a funny story, by the way. So the first three guys, one of them was one of my colleagues, Elio. He's one of the designers of the new Hummer EV. He works for GM now, um, and he was the only guy that I knew. The other two guys, the first one was Alexander Enriquez. I think he's at Toyota now. He worked for Cadillac as well, but now he's at Toyota. Uh, and since he got the first place, I think he approached GM Studio in Brazil like, "Yo, I got the first place in the VW contest. Do you guys have anything to offer for me?" I think he was already in contact with them, and he got the job. So that place was open, so they got the fourth guy, right? And the fourth guy was a guy that was also from my school, Cesar. and he's also working for VW, but he's a alias modeler right now. And they fill that place. But the second guy, he, he was contacted by his friend at Electrolux. It's a company in Brazil. I think it's Whirlpool. It's some sort of like Whirlpool in America. He contacted him. He was like, "Dude, you want to come here to work with us? We're offering you like a full-time job. You don't need to do the internship. You're offering like a full-time job. You're gonna be hired as a professional designer." I was like, "Dude, awesome. Yeah, of course." And then they will pick the fifth guy, but it happens that the fifth guy was this guy that invited the second guy to join him on the company. So the sixth guy, the next in line, that was me. He was contacted. "Oh, do you want to join our team to make the internship, the internship for this year?" It's like, of course, right? Why not? And that was it was the first contact I had with transportation design.
Can I just ask,
And
is this what year is this now?
this was, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot it.
No,
Okay,
it's
that
okay. So
was
you're already
right.
in
That was
university.
that was right at the end of the university.
Okay.
And that was like 1999. No, sorry, 2000. That was
Okay.
the year of the 2000. Yeah. Um, and then I joined the internship in the 2000. And I was in love with the thing. First day I was at the studio, I was like, dude, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
The models, right? Is that what you gravitated towards?
Yeah, dude, like that was the first contact I had to the car design world.
Wow.
Everything I knew back then, it was based like checking magazines like Car Styling, auto and design. Internet was not big. I think NetCar Show didn't even exist. Car Design U was like 1 year old.
It was like a
So
forum. I've
yeah, it
said
was
that
like
a
a
million
forum.
times. I keep saying that,
Yeah,
but it fucking was. That's basically what it
yeah,
was.
exactly. So and they don't have that anymore, but they used to have like portfolios. They had like portfolio section that people submit their stuff. And I met like a few guys there. And it's funny when I talk to them today, it's like, dude, I remember stuff from like the early 2000s on Cars I Use portfolio forum. I was like, wow, really? Yeah. Yeah. I sent a couple of emails the other day to friends like, dude, I don't even remember this thing anymore. So yeah, because I used to collect all the sketches because I was like, dude, those things, they can vanish, right? I need to create my own library of references, right? Because I was trying to, like teach myself like how to um, like trying to learn more from what I can. Like of course from the guys on the studio, the professionals that I was working with, but also with everything that was surrounding me. And that was the first time I got to know like the marker sketches, and it was funny because back then all the designers on the studio, they were just doing like sketches with marker and pencils, right?
Yeah.
No one was doing Photoshop sketches. I kind of introduced Photoshop to the studio in Brazil. I was the guy that like, yeah, why don't we do like a little Photoshop here and there? We can simply do like hand sketches and then we finish on the Photoshop maybe. And that was like starting doing this, and that became a thing. I think everyone was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, I can do this now. I can change the color. I can do this effect. I can use lens flares. All this kind of stupid features that Photoshop has. I think it still has. But that was it. And that I don't consider my school. Of course, I learned a lot during the design school, but what was basically most related to graphic design and a little bit of product here and there. But all the car design stuff I learned from this time at VW. That I joined VW as an intern, and at the end they hired me as a professional designer. But funny thing, I was not hired as a shape designer. I was hired as a graphic designer. So they hired me as a graphic designer. They say, yeah. And I was doing all sorts like a little graphics for cars, special series, logo types, and like launch CD players for like this car. And like I had to learn Flash by myself because my boss like, one day he came like, dude, can you do this for me? Of course, yeah, I can do, but I don't know anything about Flash. Yeah, what does it do? It's like, yeah, 2 months. In 2 months, you have to do. Oh my god! So I had to learn like Flash in like a month to do the whole thing myself. I like these challenges, like forcing myself into a very uncomfortable zone that I have to learn. I have to do something because I know I can push myself harder if I do that. If I get too comfortable, I get too lazy. I don't like that. When it gets too comfortable, I simply move on. I do something else. Um, I think that was the beginning of this whole story. And I worked for VW for a few years, for 6 years, since the army.
Were either the Pavone
I,
brothers there at that time?
they were there. The JC Marco was already there. He was already working for 2 years. We were good friends since the internship, and then his brother joined the studio the very same day that I did. So we had the same time at VW back then. It was a pretty cool studio, dude. A lot of talented people. I learned a bunch from those guys. They're beasts, like Marco, JC. They also like self-taught guys. They learn everything by themselves and with the contact of other people. They are awesome designers.
They
Still
do
today.
they kind of? I imagine that they probably push each other, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the twin brothers dynamic maybe happens there too. One pushes each other. It's yeah. Marco is dude. He's a beast though. He sketches, he models. He's one of the best play modelers I know, and he's a designer. He modeled everything by himself if he wants to. He deserves to be in the place he is right now. It's pretty good though.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you never? You never went over to Wolfsburg though, right?
I know. I actually went to Potsdam for a quick gig. I think for like 3 months.
When?
It was a exchange plan. Like we got some designers from Germany and they send designers from Brazil. So you got that like 3 to 6 months of experience exchange. And when I did for Potsdam. It was back in 2005. I met like a few guys there that you might know, like Sasha. Um, Shout out to Sasha, awesome guy. We became kind of friends since then. Uh, Daniel, Simon, JP Gregory, they're all like big on the industry right now, like all big guys.
Dude, that place
Yeah,
back in the day was
Alexis,
fucking insane, dude. It was
dude,
absolutely insane.
it was my first experience outside Brazil. I never had any experience outside Brazil. It was my first one. And when I got there, I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Like and the scenery, like the studio was pretty cool for us. Maybe not cool for the guys that were in seats because it was close to the beach. It was, like the weather was better. I heard they was always complaining about, yeah, that's fucking weather of Germany. I hate it. I love when we were in cities. And I was like, dude, what are you talking about? This is awesome. Look at the place. There's a castle like across the lake. Look at this, the whole the scenery.
Dude, I,
Nowhere noise.
I literally, I'm looking at that castle right now.
Really?
Yeah.
You live that close?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We are kind of perpendicular to the lake, but it's like right across.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
And Possum was a pretty cool city though. And for me, I was like living in like an hour drive in Brazil to the studio. And there was like 15 minutes. So everything was perfect. Like, dude, a 15 minutes commute
Were
to
you
look
were
at
you
this
living
place.
were you living in Potsdam or did you
Yeah,
stay? Okay.
I was living in
Ger-
Mittelstrasse. It's
Mittelstraße.
it's in the center. It's like this Dutch village,
In the
like a
Dutch
little street.
Quarter. Yes, I know. No, I know
Yeah, yeah,
exactly
yeah,
where
yeah.
it is. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yes.
it was a pretty cool apartment though. I remember one day coming back from the studio and the whole street was blocked. It was like, yeah, and I was like just like passing the block and the guard, it was like the cop, it was like, no, you cannot pass. I was like, why not? I live right there, like a couple blocks away. It's like, no, you can't because they're doing some changes on the nearby hospital when they were digging and then found like this World War II bomb. And now they have to dismantle the whole thing. It's like, oh my, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was really crazy.
Who was in charge of the studio when you were there? Was it Achim?
No, Peter Schreier.
Peter, okay.
Yeah,
Were
Peter
you,
Schreier.
because I recently got introduced to Alan Macy, and I think
Mhm.
he interned in 2005 as well. Were you guys there at the same time?
Probably, I don't know. I would not probably
Don't
remember by
remember.
name. I'm
No,
really bad
okay.
with names, dude. Maybe if I see the
He's
picture, maybe I might know him.
the Curb Industries guy.
Hmm.
No,
Oh,
okay.
wait a minute. I think I know him. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I met him there.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So so
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
no. So you did your internship here. You managed to dodge a bullet by not going to Wolfsburg, and then you're not
I
honest to
wouldn't
God.
mind.
You're not fuck. I mean, I guess you need to go and see it, but yeah, I probably shouldn't say anything else. But you know,
I was there a couple of times. I mean, I don't have the work experience there, so I cannot talk about that. But for the couple of times I was there for like meetings and presentations, it was okay. I mean, it was just, like chilling. That everyone seems to be happy and doing what they love to do.
cool.
So VW turned out as my transportation school. So everything I know, it's because of VW, right? I learned everything related to transportation, car design at VW. So my first couple of years at VW, I don't consider. I mean, of course, it was a work experience, but it was also uh, like my transportation um, learning curve, right? My learning period. So like the first 3 years, I was really bad at it. I gotta say, I was just learning. But it was a good learning experience, to be honest.
But
And
Art, was there a moment during that internship or when they hired you that they said, okay, now you can transition into transportation, or did
oh,
you
I
ask somebody or?
no. So what I was doing, I was doing my job as a graphic designer, doing the graphic work, but I was also doing some sketches on the side and leaving them next to me on my desk, like in a place that everyone could see it, right?
Classic,
So I was like
classic.
laying them out in a way that like, oh yeah, like you got like this for X years. Oh yeah, I put it on the wall, and when we had to do this cover for a magazine. So everyone's doing like this quick sketch blitz for the magazine. So we like, oh yeah, I'm doing that too. And then I just like, like putting my sketch in the middle of the pile. And it was like, do you want to do a model? I was like, you want to do like a proposal for this model? It's like, yeah, of course, that's what I'm here for, right? And then I switched to exterior design.
And that was it.
Yeah, yeah, basically. But I was still doing graphic design. I still do today. I love it. I am I love everything related to design. Graphic design is just another facet of it.
Fuck, Art. That's classic, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? There's no end of alias modelers that do that, Like we've all been there. Like, just like casual, like put your heart and soul into something, put the sketch on the side and pretend to
Uh-huh.
just like, but then you put it down, but then you kind of like, you just push it to the side as if you just like, I left it there, and hoping somebody's gonna see it and go like, oh fuck, you
I,
hired.
I still do that today. Not right now because I'm working from home. But when I was in the studio, I have two monitors. Right? I have two displays, right? So I'm working on one monitor, and on the other monitor, I have something that I want to my boss to see, like a different proposal for something else. And eventually, sometimes it works. It passes like, what was that? Oh no, it was just like doodling here, sketching another idea for this project. And it's like pitching the project. Like, can you do me like a couple more proposals for that? Like maybe a quick model? Yeah, I can do that. No, no problem. And some of them they became reality. Yeah, that's my way to, try to create more things. Like not forcing it down, but just like leaving it there in case someone wants to, oh, that's interesting. Let's try that out.
But Art, where did you develop that style? You've got like a very specific style that I have to say, I don't know if it was one of the. I mean, I think as far as I could tell, It was like one of the first to kind of do that. It's like a very, I don't know how would you describe your style? It's a very like, there's a real producty feel to it, but
Hmm.
there is definite sculpture, but there's always like technical elements in whatever it is that you're doing.
So I think it's a collection of things. It evolved during the years. If you pick like sketches before 2014 or 2013, they were different. And I'll let you know why. I'll get there. Um, but going back to VW, I told you I was exterior designer, right? But in one year, I don't think the studio was doing good. Not the studio, the studio was doing good, but the company in Brazil wasn't doing. It was the economics in Brazil wasn't on reception, right? It wasn't doing well. So they started like taking products from Brazil and developing them in Germany, right? And but other studios in Brazil, they were kind of like hiring more people, and we lost almost the entire interior team back then. With it was a pretty small studio. We had like four exterior designers, three interior designers, and we lost two of the interior designers. It was just one of the guys. Just Dagoberto Trivia was there. He was a supervisor, and they found themselves without any interior design. And they were like, "Do you want to help us do any interior design?" So I was like, "Dude, I never did any interior design," but I was sitting next to Rodrigo. That can, was always talking about this, the interior and like exchanging ideas and try to like make each of us better in a way, or make the work progress in a better pace or quality. And yeah, I can try. Why not, right? My first interior designers, they were awful, because I didn't have any knowledge of how to do. But eventually, I learned a little bit of the interior design, and that I think that creates another path, another track in my path, right? Another side, and that show me how to deal with details, like how to work details, how to work several parts in a way they are like all, how can I put this? They work together. You put in a way that they all like work. I forgot the word. Dude. I'm sorry.
What
Um,
cohesion, so that they all kind
yeah,
of.
they're more cohesive. Exactly, they're more cohesive. So I learned that, and that taught me something, right? Yeah, that taught me like the car design is not only exteriors, it's interiors as well, and that's as important as the exterior. And that brought to myself the attention, like every single little detail matters. So, and that kind of turned into how do I sketch? How much more details? Because before that, my exterior sketches were very artsy, like not a lot of details. Like headlamps, they didn't have any details. Wheels, I was just like simply too lazy. I was just sketching the sculpture of the car, which is okay for exterior designer, right? You don't need to go full on details right at the beginning. Just you need to bring the essence of what you want, right? The spirit of that car, the soul. You need to go all the way into details, more intricate. And the interior design at the beginning, right at the beginning, you need though. You need, of course, you need gesture. You need to put things in place, but you need to give attention to all those things and put them in the right position and give the right attention in a way that in the future you're not going to find yourself in a bad situation. So you know that everything is working. And when I moved back to exterior designer, when I moved to GM, I moved as exterior designer. I brought the whole interior experience to the exterior work. So all the attention to details, like how to treat, like to balance everything together. So that was like something into my workflow, I guess. And more and more, I was like adding more like details and thinking more like how the things function. Because in interior design, you have to be fully aware how
Mm,
everything functions
mm,
perfectly, right? You cannot simply put something there because it's cool. No, if it is there, it has to be a good explanation, and it has to work with this 10 other things next to that, right? And I was bringing this whole experience to my exterior design, and my exterior designs became something different, uh, very different from like all the exterior work that I was doing, all the other people was doing for GM. And in a way, that was like standing out. right? And they found in myself like a person that could, simply like fly from interior to exterior. If they need someone to cover for interior, they oh, can you do this? Yeah, sure. And in 2010 or 9, um, one of my friends brought me back to the interior design to help with a project they were doing in Brazil for American market. Um, that thing turned into the 2015 Chevrolet Colorado interior. So I was the lead designer for that one. So we got the competition, we won the competition, and we developed the design in Brazil. That was awesome for the studio. Dude. It was our first international product. That was pretty cool. A huge experience. I came to Detroit a couple of times to like develop like full sizes and see how they do. Like they put everything, dude. They're that was the first time I saw like a full interior, not the car, but the model, like a show model with everything functioning. Like the cluster was lighting up, all the switches, and it was all like, well, I designed this thing like a couple of weeks ago, and now it's here. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And I love that feeling when you see something that you was seeing rotating on the screen or was in a paper like a couple weeks ago, and now it's here, and you can touch it, you can sense it, right? It's amazing. It's still today, after 20 years of experience, though. It gives me chills.
Wow. I mean, it's incredible to see those things come to life. I mean, I imagine, especially if it's one of your own ideas, that literally started out as a few strokes on a piece of paper.
So going back to your question, to the styling. So all those things that were summing into this, right? And when I moved to PSA, the team was insanely small. And I had to do something that I never thought I would do because
but PSA where?
Brazil.
Okay, Citroen. I didn't know that they had a studio.
Yeah, they have pretty small studio. We have like 4 designers, and we have to do everything. Interior, exterior, doesn't matter. That's why they got me, right? That's why they hired me, because I could do both. And the manager was one of my former managers at GM. It was like, yeah, dude, just join us. We need a person like you that can do both. The team is too small. We need to, we have to do all these different works, and I need someone that's multifunctional, that's more like, can do more. I said, okay. And I left GM. It was always my dream to join Citroen since I was a younger designer, and since I saw that I put my eyes on their concept, I was like, dude, this is beyond everything. It's so cool. And it's super flashy, right? It's
Are you also a DS fan?
Thinking. Yeah, I was a big fan of DS. That sounds like pretty bad.
No, I made some stupid comments about it, which I've been educated on it. But I felt that it was one of those cars that I mean, a lot of people absolutely love it, but I felt that there was a lot of people that said that they liked it because it was a cool thing to say, I like that car. But I personally, I'm not a big fan myself. But
no, okay, yeah. I get it. It's okay. Design is very. It depends on where you're coming from, right? It's very subjective.
Yes.
Some people might like it. Some other people might hate it. So I get for that car. But what I appreciate on that car, I like the design of the DS, and I love how much technology and how they changed everything with that car. That car has so many different features, like features that we don't see today, and it was really clever. If you go, there's a Jay Leno special for that car on his channel. Just watch it and maybe you change your mind. There's so many cool features, though. So many cool features. That car it was revolutionary.
I mean, to be fair, it is probably my ignorance because I don't I haven't really looked like properly at the things that you're talking about, and I know that for example the suspension was amazing and the car kind of it's got this whole hydraulic thing going on, but I tell you what, like it's just an aesthetic thing that I personally just think
see, dude, that's where
But what is the other one? What is the other? There's the DS, and then there's another one of the similar sort of era, which is like a little bit toned down. that's got the number plate behind the glass in the front.
Oh, that's the SM,
That
the
thing.
one with the Maserati
Yeah, so that
engine.
like I can get on board with
That one's good
that.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I can get on board with that. So I'm not disrespecting Citroen.
yeah. Check the details of that car.
I'll
It's
check it
insane.
out.
I'm a detail guy because of the interior work. I it's funny because when a car comes out, of course we all designers all related to the area we judge it pretty hard. Like, oh, I hate it, I don't like it. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I also don't like it, but check this detail. This is cool. This is different, right? This is something. There's always a little Jew in every car design. Even if the design is not good for your eyes, it's not appeal to your taste. But there's always something you can learn from that car. A little detail, a little thought that the designer put on, and they were like, wow, this is pretty cool. I love it. So you always learn something. It doesn't matter if the design is beautiful or is horrible. There's always like for me as well, at least, and there's always something that you can learn from any car in the world. Doesn't matter what. Um, but going back to the story, um, when I joined PSA, I had to do everything, interior, exterior, right? And I found myself in a situation that I had to model as well. So I had to learn alias. I wasn't, okay, I learned a little alias at GM just to do like small things, but not how to proper model a whole dashboard or a whole door myself. So I had to do this because it was just me and another guy. So we were sharing. I was designing, and he was modeling the dash, and I was modeling other parts. I modeled the door, and all. I had to learn how to. And I think because of like seeing the alias shader every day in my mind, that kind of caught to my brain, and to a point that one of the first sketches I put it online. I think it was the mini. It was like a yellow mini. A couple of friends were like, dude, is a model? Is this like an alias shader? What is that? I was like, no, dude, it's a sketch. No, dude, that you can tell us the truth. Is that the shader? No, dude, this is a sketch. I did it. I can show you the file. And I think it kind of my brain captured the whole shading just by looking at the thing, and it changed my style forever. Like all the lighting, all the illumination, and everything, the way I was representing shapes and everything. I think it was a big change from like
A real turning
game
point.
changer. Yeah, turning point.
Wow.
And then I kept from that point on. I kept developing the technique in that way, like going like I said, I'm a little bit nerd. So everything that I like, I go full on it. If I like something, I try to be like learn everything I can from that. Like when I was doing calisthenics, that became my life. I was like, dude, I want to do all the tricks. I want to learn everything. I was like working my ass off to try to do all the like stand ups and like like rolling the bars and all that kind of crazy. And that happens to my professional life as well. Everything that I I like it. I find something that I'm interested in. I go full on. I try to learn everything, and it happens to Alias, it happened to Keyshot, Photoshop, like photography, and everything like that.
But do you have a tendency to go deep on just one thing at a time? Like if it's Alias, for example, does everything kind of take a side step and you just focus on that one thing?
A little. I have my main focus, but I have some other things that I like that I keep developing and learning. I don't completely neglect the other things. I just put this thing in the first place, and then there's second and third. But it's still looking to second and third place. Right?
I mean, what I mean is like with regards to if you've got 5 things that you want to learn, are you one of those guys that can kind of like simultaneously learn all 5 things at once, or do you tend to just focus on one thing, learning?
No, yeah. It happened that I learned a couple of other things at the same time because
Wow.
they're kind of related, right? If they're related, I mean, it's fine.
Cool.
You can use the knowledge from one thing to the other, and then to the other.
Yes.
You can apply the same philosophy and the same workflow sometimes from one to the other. So it's not very different. It's just the way you approach it.
Wow. So then like at what stage did you start developing the style that we see now? Because if you see one of your sketches online, I mean, there are quite a few imitators, but like I can spot your work immediately, and I know, okay, this is Art Martin stuff. And then, like, particularly when you start going down to the details and everything. But of course, there's also a lot to be said for your proportion and then of course the way that you illustrate whatever it is that you've designed.
I think since then, since this experience that I just told you about, like how the alias changed my sketching, I was developing the whole thing. I started with colors, and then I was slowly moving into grayscale because I found on grayscale like a way to do everything faster. I didn't need to pay attention for. I just need to represent the shapes, right? And that's how fast, like how that's no way you can do any faster than that, right? It's just like white grayscale, like black and whites and a gray background. Um, and I think that was more of a efficiency. I think it was more efficient to me, and that's why I picked the grayscale. And working with textures always help you how to break things and it adds more detail, but it's not like a fully detailed. Like you know there's something there. That's why I have all like textures and lines. And I think they make fun of on the studio. They're like, yeah, if it has stripes, it's art. Like, and Richard King says, you just stripe it out like art does and make it look good. So it became like a thing. But I use it just to give more layers of reading, right? You have the first reading, and then you have the second and third. And I was like adding more into that because I always use the sketch as a therapy as well. So I spend some time hours working on an image, or if it is for like work, I do like pretty quick. But sometimes I get lost in some of them because I fall in love with the design, or I really like to go even deeper on that, and I try to solve problems on the sketch that I know. I don't even for me that thing that will never become reality. Even if it's like a side sketch or something I'm doing just for Instagram, I go full on. Maybe I try to solve everything, right? Because I know I'm nuts. I told you like a very detail oriented. I love to go deep into things and how to make them work and figure it out. I love puzzles, like how to like come with solutions for problems, and that's probably why. I don't know if that answers your question. Sorry.
Yeah, no. It answers it 100%. The thing is, what's really interesting is that I think, again, I speak under correction here, but I would argue that style that you've developed has obviously it's been an evolution of decisions, like you've just said, but then it's kind of become not the status quo, but at some point, like really in vogue, especially if you look at, that's why, like, I'm talking about actual design decisions and color material choices as well. That's why I think like your style fits so well, for example, to Polestar, because it's kind of it's done in that similar sort of vein. But I would hazard a guess and say that it's that the work that you've done and some of those images that you've created have definitely inspired people at some point that has influenced their choices on real projects, which is quite an interesting thing to think about. And I'm sure that you would deny that out of some sort of sense of modesty, but I think it's definitely a case.
Yeah, thanks. I think we all influenced by something, right? Every day, we getting in contact with like so many inputs, like here and there, and this is the first time I talk about this, but I since 2010 I have a blog, a Tumblr of how can I say it? Like I put this it's a way that I found to find inspiration, and everything that I like I put it there. So if I find something that kind of like it appeals to me, I put it there. It's like an inspirational block. Few people know that's mine, and a few people they like, it's that thing yours. I was like, and I always say no, because I don't want people to know that that's my thing, right? Um, but it's a way for me to keep fresh, like it keep like see what's coming, what are the trends that are coming, right? So if you see there is like something going on in every aspect of creation, like sculpture, architecture, fashion, product design, car design, everything is correlated for me, right? Everything is design, is creation. I don't like to say um, I'm a car designer. I'm a designer, and as a designer, I should be able to design anything, right? And that's what I try to push myself um, to always be as open as possible for anything, and open yourself, open your eyes to everything that surrounds you. You break that barrier. Like, okay, I just look into cars because I'm a car designer. No, work doesn't happen like that, right? Creation doesn't happen like that. We're influenced by so many things that change you, that kind of has a little bit that change the way you're sketched, the way you design stuff, the way you think. And when I see something that sparks to my brain, wow, that thing is awesome. It makes me design something close to that. I do it. I just like pick a piece of paper and I resketch the thing so my brain and my muscle can understand all the proportion, everything. So in the future, I already know that, right? So I can use that if I start a new project. I already had the reference. It's funny because the other day I did this workshop with some students for a school here in America. Like, how you find inspiration when you start a new project. It's like, yeah, when they give you a brief, like a briefing, they say, okay, you have to start this project for this and that. The first thing designers do, they go online and they look into inspirations. Like, oh yeah, let's see if this can inspire me. They spend like 2 hours just try to find something cool. Because I do this every day, every morning. The first thing I do, pick a coffee. I browse online what's new. I do that every day. So when I got the briefing, I already know what to do because I already saw all 100 different things that inspire me to come with that idea. And I have like a sketchbook for that. So I have like thousands of like different ideas on the side that I could use in the future. So I'm creating my own library of references, right? So this for me works in a way to um, keep my mind always like running. Even if I do like a boring production stuff, like move this line 1 millimeter, 0.5 here, fighting for 0.3, 0.1 there, that kills your creativity though. If you just do that, then you become like a machine, right? I don't want that. I want to still be creative. I want to still be able to, when a problem shows to myself, I can just like simply solve it in a few minutes or in a few hours or a day, right? Because you know how the industry works today, right? You don't have a lot of time anymore. Sometimes you have to come up with an idea in 2 days.
Yeah.
How you do so? So that's what everything comes together. The design, the styling that I use is basically focused on efficiency, because I know I cannot spend days or hours in developing an idea. I have to know like simply go boom, 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 and that it's very efficient to me the way it works. Also, the whole browsing thing on the morning, it's predicting that in the future I might end up like having to use something. So I already have that done. So I'm trying to cover everything in advance. So when a problem comes in front of me, I already have all these 5 first steps done. So I just need to jump into the 6th one, and then I can start like just working and developing ideas. That's what I do. I try to be efficient more and more because the word's becoming that, right? And then all the artwork, the sketches that I told you that I do, that's like a falling lava that spend hours, that's for Instagram or some artwork that I do for the company or whatever. But for daily work, I have to be quick. Was that the question?
Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely, all of it and more. That Tumblr that you've got art are these just images of other products and art or nature, whatever that you all compiled together? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
So they're
No. Carry on.
Yeah, they're very form oriented, like shape oriented. sometimes I told you I'm a detail guy, right? I love details. If you go to my Pinterest and there's I think the largest folder is the design details. There's tons of it. Because I know like it's a library though. It's a reference. You pick that. You know what it is. So when you need to find something similar, you don't need to start from scratch. No, nothing started from scratch. Maybe the first tool it started from scratch, but everything else developed from that one tool, right? Everything starts from something else. It's an evolution, right? So if you have a bunch of ideas that's going on, you can simply go on, browse it. Okay, this is cool. I can use this as a setting stone, like the base for my whole project, and I can keep developing from that. So I can keep things evolving and not just like stuck in time and everything looks the same. That's why you always have to keep like pushing and pushing and try to pick something that you like and how can I make this better? How can I make my workflow better? How can I make it more efficient? How can I make this product more efficient? How can I make this design more efficient? Design is not only related to visuals, right? It's related to how you experience that. Probably more
Oh, yeah,
how
more so, yeah,
you
yeah,
experience
yes,
that
no,
than how
absolutely.
it appeals to you, right?
And are you? I guess this is probably a stupid question, but are you very organized in the way that you compile all these things? Yes, obsessive.
In some things I am. It's crazy because some things I'm not. I'm really bad with like personal organization things. But the things that I use every day, I try to be. I try to name my files the same way. I try to name my folders the same way. So I know like it follows like a hierarchy. So I know where things are. I learned that when back in the day, kids we didn't have YouTube or we didn't have iTunes or Spotify, right? So if you want to listen to music, you have to buy those things they call CD players. That they know, I'm just joking. And or you can download MP3s, right? So it's okay if you have like 10 or 20, but if you have like thousands or if you have like hundreds of CD players, you have to come with a system how to organize them. You can go like by in alphabetic order. You can name by color, whatever. So you have to come with a system. So for everything I do, and if I know that's going to become something big, I started putting on a system. So I know in the future I'm not going to have problems. That's why Pinterest works so well for me because it's simply like splitting things and dividing things. So I know where to go, where to find everything.
I still have
Again,
no idea how that fucking platform works. I don't get it. I fucking don't get it.
dude, I'm a heavy user of Pinterest, like since the beginning. Yeah, it's really good though. I even when I start a project, I create like these secret folders with the designers, and they say, Let's put everything here. All the reference you guys find, can you guys put it here so everyone can see, so everyone shares the same, like same vibe, and they learn from the same source. And that works. I think it works. Uh, they all can go to that page and find more information if they want more inspiration and see what other people, because if I only look for things that I like, sometimes I can simply neglect things that I probably don't. But it's good to everyone share the same place and put everything in the same spot so I can see maybe things that I would never like, or maybe the algorithm doesn't pick for me because they're picking this or that based on what I picked before,
Okay.
right? What I
Yeah, yeah,
previously picked.
yeah.
And I think that works.